Good morning, it's Friday. Welcome to Summer's Way of Life. So hopefully just a 5-minute video this morning. I'm doing a couple of things in the garden which I thought you might be interested in. It's not a full garden update. So first of all, look at this cucumber. So let me just turn this around. Right. Here's the cucumber plant. This is the larger one. This is the smaller one. The pot is too small. It's not doing well. And I might transplant it tonight. Let's see. It's a leaf day, so not the right day, but I'll do it anyway. This cucumber I found 2 days ago behind. It was sitting here on the tree. And I plucked it off because they grow very, very big very quickly. Now, this is a cucumber plant from the Real Seeds company in the UK. They're based in Wales, as one of a YouTube gardener saw my video and explained he lived quite close by them. And it's a very, Robert Bruns is the cucumber type, and they're very, very rare. The seeds are rare because they are non-GM. I've grown it organically, and on the packet it says we recommend that you save your own seeds. I've never done it before, but I'm going to do a search on how to save cucumber seeds, and I will do that. This one I think I'm going to eat. Now, if you look on the plant, there are several more growing. You can see here there's a cucumber growing, and what I've just done, I've got petals on the floor, male petals. In my I'm quite impatient sometimes, not all the time, and I'm patient where it needs to be, but with this I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to pull off a male flower, open it up and stick it into a female flower, and that's what I did. But really what I probably should have done was gone and got a cotton bud, or as one of my viewers and friends told me, tried the back of a pencil with an eraser. You pop it into the male and then take some of that pollen and put it into the female. I didn't do that. I just pull the leaves back of a male flower. Let me just see, there's a male flower here, and I pulled it off, which we're not meant to do, and I pulled the leaves back, and then I popped it in to here, for example. There's one just here, and there's another one just here, but I'm leaving all the male flowers on because they need to be pollinated. These are non-GM natural cucumbers, slicing cucumbers, and they need to be pollinated by nature. So given that we don't have so many bees, I say that, but I have quite a lot that come into my garden because I've created that kind of a for them. You can see everywhere you look, there's somewhere for the bees to enjoy and grab some food. But yes, this is what I wanted to show you. So the second thing I'm doing right now is I'll take you back because I'm going to grow fenugreek. On a different note, when you come out in the garden, I can only say this for the UK because I don't know other countries, but when you come out when it's still, the grass is still wet, it's a great time to catch slugs. My slugs here, I caught about 7 or 8 this morning. Remember, to get rid of slugs, it's not just one thing, it's everything, and part of it is slug patrol. And as I was walking barefoot through this lovely moist grass in the morning, this was about 6:30 this morning, 7, there were slugs literally sliding across the lawn, and they were, you know, huge, like this big. So I picked them up as I went along, and they're all across the garden. It's the perfect time. The grass is really moist. They like it this time of the morning. And then what they tend to do is then slide underneath some plants or pots for the rest of the day when it gets warmer. It's a great time to catch them. So going back to what I was saying, is in this area I had coriander growing, and I've actually harvested all the coriander which I'm using. It's so delicious. Homegrown coriander has a taste to it like nothing you've tasted. It is not like shop bought coriander. But what I've done, and this is not something I've read, this is just something I'm using my common sense on, is that I know fenugreek. Fenugreek is methi. Methi is used in the Indo-Pakistani cuisine a lot, in cooking greens or even with fish, and it is also known as a green manure. It actually is a nitrogen fixer, so double check I'm right on that by doing your own research, but it's a nitrogen fixer. So whenever I've taken something out of the soil, like coriander or something else, I put nitrogen back in. I don't leave it bare, and fenugreek grows very quickly, so it's a fantastic green leaf to grow in pots or anywhere. And then when it's on nice warm days, cut it off and let it dry, so you've got dried fenugreek. I use these seeds. Methi. This is from the Indian shop. Indo-Pakistani viewers will know TRS. They're everywhere. I don't know. Really, they're not organic, but you know, you do what you can with the tools that you've got. And I grow them. I just take a handful. You see, there's a handful here. And all I'm going to do is like this. Just scatter them, and then I'm just going to gently cover them with some soil or turn the soil over. Finish that off in a minute, and they'll grow very quickly. And also, if there are pots anywhere, I'm going to do that now. Any pots anywhere, all I'm going to do is just throw some fenugreek and label it, otherwise you forget what's in there, and they will grow very, very quickly. So when you cut them off, you don't pull them out from the root. You want the roots to be in there to fix the nitrogen into the soil. You just cut the stems off. And now the soil is being nourished, but at the same time, you're enjoying the harvest of fenugreek, whether it's fresh, which I use, for example, when I make cooked spinach and potatoes, aloo palak we call it. Some people call it aloo saag. Oh, it's so delicious. My mum makes the best. There are very few ingredients in there. It's just garlic and chilli. What my mother puts in, but then you've got the leaves, you've got the spinach leaves from the garden, you've got the fenugreek, you've got the coriander, and my mother also puts dill in there as well. So, and some salt, and then you cook that well, then you put the potatoes in afterwards. So, and that's a little tip for today. Just go to your local Indian shop. If you haven't grown anything, just go pick up some fenugreek seeds. And it will help to also nourish the soil, because it is nature's natural fertilizer. They call it green manure. All right, so that's just a little tip for today, and I'll do a more comprehensive. I am going to do a comprehensive part 2 of the cult series, where I'm going to talk about my experience. But I have been doing and carrying out a lot of research, and a lot of people have come forward to talk to me about truth, freedom, health. And so I do need to share this on a very general basis, so that you learn. The idea behind it is that you understand how to think about organisations around us, about the world around us. And this is a perfect example, because I've had first-hand experience where things are never what they seem. People are never what they seem. And the most shocking and disturbing part of it, which I've mentioned many times before, I realised that quite early on. It's now all just being confirmed. This is all confirmation that be very careful of, in this information age, where people coming in talking the truth, real truth, and giving out some really good info, and then you attach yourself to the identity of that person based on that info, when really inside they have quite vindictive minds, malicious minds inside them, very negative frequency beings, and they're high frequency, negative high frequency beings, and some of them are becoming like that, becoming that way. Perhaps they weren't before. Some of them just are that. you have to be really careful. And in my opinion, Truth, Freedom, Health, the leader of that, is one of those malicious minds, because I've got evidence and to share that with you. So I'm going to share that with you so that you're aware of how I react. Actually, I haven't reacted. It's how I respond to that situation. It was a great test for me that I'm talking about it now, but when you reply to something with the same angry, hateful energy, you're feeding it. When you take a step back and observe, for however long it might take, you can't stay silent. Because if you're silent, you're open to that same attack. Again, it's an attack. It's a parasitic type of attack. And so many metaphors come in nature. Nature tells you everything if you just take a moment to stop and pay attention to nature. She tells you everything. The messages are there through the trees, the plants, the animals that you keep, dogs, cats. So I'll share that in a very long video with you soon, in the next few days hopefully. And have a lovely Friday.